we connect Maslow's hierarchy of needs with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in the journey that we're all taking. I am al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor of Semper Fortis Jiu Jitsu here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to answer this week's question of the week. So, when I went to Baylor University, I had to study Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I never thought I'd actually be a skill that I would use, but turns out I'm going to connect it with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And what I have found is, like, recently one of my students entered a tournament and didn't have the results that they had hoped for or that they thought they should have gotten. And it happens. Here's the problem with jiu-jitsu tournaments is we go into these tournaments and we're like, hey, I should do really good. I've been training really hard. I'm in really good shape. I'm having great results in the school. And you go in and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the reality of all jiu-jitsu tournaments is if there's 1,000 people entering a tournament, 500 of them are losing their first match. The simple math is 50% of everybody that enters the tournament loses their first match. And I think what we're getting stuck on is when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and why that impacts people going into jiu-jitsu. Like at the baseline of the pyramid is physiological, And usually when people come to jiu-jitsu, they've already met, that need is being met. A lot of times people come to jiu-jitsu because they're here to meet the next step in the pyramid, which would be safety. And, because maybe domestic violence, sexual assault, some type of violent crime has happened to them or they're being bullied. So that could be the next step is, they're meeting their safety need. And then the next step on the pyramid is belonging, sense of community, fitting in. And a lot of times that's, what people who come to jiu-jitsu, they're trying to fit in, and that works out great for them. But then the next step on the pyramid is esteem, being recognized and respected within your group and the things that you feel are valuable. And I think that's where a lot of people have problems in their journey. It's like they enter tournaments and it's like, oh, I didn't get the results I thought I should have gotten or I wanted to get. I'm so disappointed in myself. Or, even, when it comes to belt promotions, they're like, oh, I think I was ready for this next belt, but instead I didn't get it. And then somebody else got a promotion and I think I know more about jiu-jitsu than they do. And I think my jiu-jitsu is better than theirs. And I think, I attend more than they do, or for whatever reason that you think you deserved a promotion over somebody else. And that's where people get into that esteem problem. It's like, it's sort of like in jiu-jitsu, a common phrase is, check your ego at the door, leave your ego at the door. And it's very hard, but a lot of times your happiness in your jiu-jitsu journey, you're going to stumble over that when you're caught in the esteem level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And where we want to actually get you to is self-actualization, where you're accepting who you are, you're comfortable with who you are, and you're enjoying your journey. So when you look at tournaments, and for example, like a good friend of mine, Thiago Macedo, he won the gold in the featherweight division 3 years ago in the Pan Am's adult black belt division, featherweight. 1 gold. He's simply one of the best competitors in the world. Like, he competes all the time. He trains really hard. Phenomenal. And Thiago went to the World Championships last month and lost his first match. It's like, well, what happened? Well, what happened is jiu-jitsu works. And sometimes, despite our best plans and our best training, sometimes the other person, their plan was just a little bit better, or they just, something happened and they got the victory and you lose. And that's what I enjoy about jiu-jitsu. It's such an amazing chess match. It's like I never know when I go into these tournaments, how it's going to turn out, except the 3 times I've gone against Megaton Diaz, I sort of knew what was going to happen. I gave it my best shot, and 3 times Megaton beat me. But I enjoyed the chess match, and I enjoyed the opportunity to go against a legend of jiu-jitsu like Megaton Diaz, who is one of the best competitors ever, and just a phenomenally nice man. So that was a great opportunity, and I hope one day to have a fourth opportunity to go against Megaton Diaz. But I realized who I am, and that what jiu-jitsu does for me is more than any kind of accolades. Like for me, jiu-jitsu is really a big factor in my mental health, because a lot of times, like, you get ex-military guys like me, when we retire, it's like, where's my friendship network? Where's my camaraderie? Like, I don't have that. I'm not in the military no more. Well, for me, jiu-jitsu filled that mental health need for me, because I have a lot of friends here. I have camaraderie here. There's a sense of belonging. It's enjoyable to wake up every day and be like, oh, what am I doing today? Oh, I'm doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. That's what I do every day, and I love it. But if I was stuck on the esteem of like, well, I can't beat Megaton Diaz, and I can't win the world championships, I keep trying and it's not working for me. Like if I just got stuck on that, like that would affect my overall happiness. Where I realize I am who I am, and I like who I am. Matter of fact, I love who I am. Not because I'm great, but I've reached that level of self-actualization that I'm very comfortable in my skin. And I know sometimes I'm going to win, sometimes I'm going to lose. I'm far from perfect, but I am who I am, and I'm cool with that. And that's where I hope to get everybody. Like, enjoy your journey, enjoy this chess match of jiu-jitsu, enjoy getting better, and instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself. Your only real competition is who you were yesterday. Be better than who you were yesterday. Try to constantly be better. I want to be better next year than I was this year. Rather than compare myself to somebody else, I'm only comparing myself to me, to who I was yesterday. And that I'm constantly trying to improve. So that is the answer to this week's question of the week. If you got any comments or ideas or insights on your experiences, feel free to make comments below. And if you got a question for next week, as always, make a comment below and I'll give you my best answer. And until next week, ciao.